Welcome to Tuesday. We gather together again to have some stillness in the middle of our day. We were just commenting on 5:30 comes off really fast nowadays. It's like 5:30 used to feel like, oh, I'm at the end of my day. Today it feels like it just kind of comes up at like noon usually does in regular time. So we're spending our week mulling Korach, this bad guy in the Bible, I guess you'd say. But it's questionable whether he really is that bad. All he's doing is questioning and saying, are you the one that has to be the leader? And I was reading something about the Torah portion today, actually on Aish, which was talking about, I guess the best way to put it is, what are our motivations when we come out against somebody or speak against somebody or are trying to promote ourselves? And the way we do that is by kind of putting someone else down so that we can be elevated. And although this isn't a discussion about gossip and Lashon Hara, there is something interesting about this idea that when we want to pick ourselves up, many times the tactic we use is to bring something negative into the space and to complain about something and then say, I'm the person that can take care of that. And that seems to be what's happening here, right? Korach goes to Moses, how come you're the one that has to be the leader? And he actually uses the words, this is too much for you, right? There should be many people that are doing this, and that's the way it can get done. But in this particular article, it was saying, Korach comes and says, this is too much for you. And what he really means is, it's not too much for me. So us want to do this. It's too big for you. We should be taking this on. But what he really means is, I should take it on. And the question that comes up is, what is my motivation? What is your motivation when you're trying to, what is your motivation and my motivation when we put someone else down? It doesn't mean that they're there, although they could be there. Why would we do that? Why would we kind of position get not a raise, but promotion. Thank you. You want a promotion. So you go in there and say, hey, these guys aren't doing a good job. There's too much work for them. They're not able to handle it. But you know what? I can handle it. Why not just go in and say, this is really tough work that we're doing, and I think I would do a great job in leading this group in that work. Why put someone else down? Why not make it so that I go in there touting my own skills or saying, I can do this. I want to do this. I think I can make this better. Why do we do that? Why do we go in and say the other person's no good and therefore I'm good? You can be good. They can be good. Everyone can be incredible. And your being good doesn't negate what another person does. And also, that person being good at what they do doesn't negate from the positive things that you have. So with that in mind, I'd like to add something a little different to our meditation today. I do want to start concentrating on our breath and getting ourselves kind of in that still place, in that place of allowing things to be as they are, kind of clearing ourselves out a little bit. But then I would like for us to meditate upon, or I invite you to meditate upon, your strengths. What are those things that you do well? What is special about you? Not in comparison to other people. Just what what are your skills that you can do well? What part of your personality is good personality? What part of your existence in this world is good? And the hard part about this is that sometimes it's really difficult to say, I'm good at this. It's much easier to say, I'm so terrible at it. There's so many, we've been talking about this for months, this idea that we judge ourselves, that we have a trance of unworthiness that we walk around with. And so what I'd like us to do today is to begin to discover, without judgment, those things that we think we do pretty well. What are our strong points? And if we can identify our strong points, then we can go into every situation from a positive stance of, I can come to do this. This is what I would like to do, and I know that I can accomplish it. This is what I want in my life, and now I can begin to take those steps to get there because I know what I want, I know what I like, I know what my strengths are. There are many different ways that people manage other people, especially in businesses. And one of those ways is to have people look at their strengths and weaknesses, and then you identify the weaknesses and you say, I want you to improve in this area, in this area, and this area. And more, and I know this is not really a popular concept, I would rather, instead of saying, you're not so good at this, you probably should improve yourself in that area. If you say that, the person can work and work and work for literally years and improve a little bit, maybe incrementally. They were here on the bottom and then they're here. I prefer to take what someone does well, which already is here as opposed to here on the thing you don't do well, and have that person explode in that area. Because the things we do well, we can do better than anybody, or as good as anybody. But the things that we like to do, the things that come easy to us, the things that we have skills in a natural way, Hebraically, I call that chokhmat lev. It's that wisdom in your heart. I actually believe we did some meditations on this about 2.5 months ago. I'm sure you all remember.
It's crazy.
But it's that idea that we have things that we do well, and it's just inside of us. There's no reason for it. Perhaps it's that we love doing it. But if we can accentuate those things we do well and bring ourselves into the space where we can explore even deeper those places where we excel, I think then you can soar. If we concentrate on the things we don't do well, we can get better at those things, but we won't soar there. We won't reach our utmost potential. But if we concentrate on the things where we do well, the things that we enjoy doing and don't mind spending time doing it, then not only will we not resent the time that we're spending, but we'll be excited by it. And we take what we do well and we make that even better. That's my personal way to manage people. If they're, and it's a horrible way to say it, if they're underneath me in terms of a corporate structure, in that I would rather have my people love what they're doing and do an amazing job doing it than say, hey, you have to improve in this area, and they might improve a little bit, but never really get to the place where they're shining and they're being looked at in the best possible light. So what I'd like us to do, after we breathe for a little bit, is, and I'll bring us through this, I'll introduce it and get us going in this direction, but I'd like us to think about and consider seriously, what do you do that's special? And don't say, oh, I don't do anything special. You do. I don't even care if it's, I have really good handwriting, right? Or I'm excellent at cleaning. I'm looking at my dog. I was thinking, I'm a dog whisperer. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know what you do well. I know that everyone has something that they do well. Everyone has something that is special to them. I know that. So I'd like us to explore it, because all too often We're thinking about things we can't do. We're thinking about where we're terrible. We're thinking about what we've done wrong. We're thinking about where we make mistakes. And those things, you can learn from all of that. But today I'd like us to concentrate on what's worthy in you. What do you do well? What do you love doing? Where do you like and love to spend your time? And then, especially in this time when we're sheltered in place, you do have an opportunity to take advantage of those things that you love to do and maybe make them a bigger part of your day. So let's get into our position to get ready to meditate. I have a pillow behind me now, behind my lower back, so that I can kind of stand up a little straighter. The chair that I'm in is a little I don't know, soggy might be the way to put it. It just sinks in a little bit. So I'm trying to have a more aggressive stance when I'm sitting. All right. Boy, I didn't think I was going to talk that long. All right, here we go. So we're going to start with breathing, regular breath, not changing anything. And we need to get up to a place where we're allowing things to be just as they are. Our head is clear. We're concentrating on our bodies and the way our bodies feel. And one thing that Michelle pointed out to me is that when we think about this, it's not all what's happening in your head. It's, when you start thinking about something and you're thinking about what you do well, you might have a reaction in your body. So really, let's pay attention to that. And in fact, this whole thing is just paying attention. Pay attention to the thoughts that come in while we're supposed to be breathing. Pay attention to the things that are coming up for you when we start thinking about what you do well, what kind of good person you are. And I know that in addition to those things, stuff's going to come in. Notice it, brush it aside, and say, today, with love, I'm just thinking about what's good about me, not what's negative. My perception of my negativity. So, here we go. Let's just try to connect with our breath. Normal breath. Feel it in your body. Feel what it does to you. We're going to just spend about 5 minutes and then we'll continue. So just allow everything to be just as it is for right now. All of the physical sensations. When your mind takes you away, let's just bring it back to our breath in chesed, in loving kindness, no judgments, no fixing, no changing. Just allow things to be as they are for now. we've brought stillness into our lives, let's start thinking about, invite you to consider yourself. And let's meditate upon our positive qualities. What do you love to do? What do you do well? Those two things go together sometimes, in that it's something you love to do, you can do it well, you can do it for hours and hours and you don't feel tired. Is there something? Or you can think about in terms of your personality and the way you treat other people, and where do you excel in that area of the world? Do you feel like you have goodness inside of you and are able to pass that goodness on? Where is that goodness? How is that manifest? What are the skills that you have? Any and all of these thoughts can go into how you perceive of yourself. It could be that everyone's always telling you that you do something well. It could be that you just innately know the areas that you succeed and the areas where you don't succeed as much. Maybe another way to put this is, where do you feel you're special? Where do you feel you can see the world in a lens that others don't see in the same way you do? Where in your life can you feel like there is infinite possibilities? Either that you've only tapped into it, or you're feeling the flowering of your skills or of that aspect of who you are, and that it truly is making you a more whole person. So many times we think about what we do in comparison to others, when the fact is there's only one person that you need to live up to, and that's yourself. And even then, there's no need to judge yourself. Where are you special? Try to be honest with yourself. It's not, where am I special, but this other person's more special. The sentence ends with, this is where I am special. There's enough room for all 7 billion people in this world to be special, to be good. There's room for everybody. if your mind has started to take you elsewhere, let's bring ourselves back to what makes us special. What do we do well? What is it we love to do? Where is it that I feel I excel in the world? What do I have to offer that's unique? And nothing is not a possible answer here. Each one of these gifts that we receive as human beings to be able to excel, to be able to do well, those are all blessings. We didn't necessarily ask for any of it, but it's inside of us, and that is our blessing. So when we say today, may I feel blessed, we're talking about, may I feel those things that I do well. That is our blessing. And then, because of the time, period, may I feel safe. May I feel blessed. And may I feel safe. And again, it's the feeling of blessing. We could have gone through this exercise and you realize all of those good things that you are, but you don't recognize that those are blessings. So I invite you to take all of those positive thoughts and realize and name them as blessings that you have received. May I feel blessed. May I feel safe. Safe to admit what I do well. Safe to call it what it is. Safe in my environment. Safe with the people I interact. Safe from this COVID-19 pandemic. But to really feel is different than being that safety. Feeling that blessing is different than say, may I be blessed. You already are blessed. May you feel blessed. May I feel safe. May I feel blessed and safe. Let's do that and tell ourselves that with each breath and believe it. And now let's just bring ourselves back to our breath. Let's center ourselves, find the stillness, find peace, just through our breath. Feel it in your body as it fills you up and then leaves to help the trees. right there. All of us keep the trees alive by our breathing. Thank you for being here today. I hope that you like that little kind of a different way to approach this. Meditating on something as opposed to just doing our kind of cleansing, open stillness meditations. You can let me know actually in the Facebook. I'll take a look at it in a little while as to whether you liked it that way. Just trying kind of different modes as we go through. May you feel blessed, and may you feel safe. Have a delightful evening.